And here's Sunny with you on Radio W.O.R.K.S World, and today's the topic is family. And family has been coming up for a lot of people, and so today we're going to be looking at a few things such as interaction between ourselves and our family. We're going to be looking at the influence that our family has on us and that we have on our family, and looking at a few things that I use in the energy cleaning and healing, excuse me, and how we can strengthen our family ties. So if we go back to interaction, the family that we have, it can be immediate family, such as parents, siblings, and then we have our extended family. And each of these can influence in different ways, clearly. And it's a matter of then being aware of this so that we can navigate this in a way that is beneficial to us. And sometimes we trust our family to be doing the best for us, and I'm sure that they do intend to do the best for us, but they're not always aware of what is the best for us. So that's when it's up to ourselves to take responsibility of where we can make those changes. Our family loves us, usually. They usually love us. So with that in mind, I have been going through a process of speaking with each individual family member, and in a loving way, in a gentle way, trying to find out how can I be a better person for them, and also letting them know what I need from them. Because sometimes it's just assumed and sometimes it's not clear, and especially when we're children, they're not always able to give us what we want. They're not always able to be with us how we need them to be with us, and we're all just doing the best we can. Nobody has a book that's written of this is how to have the perfect family. Nobody has a rewind and let's do that again. And that's why forgiveness and compassion and understanding and patience is really, really important. For that, we need to surrender a lot of ourselves. We need to surrender beliefs. We need to surrender a lot of patterns of the way we do things. And that takes a lot of courage. Sometimes it takes a lot of looking at things that we don't always want to look at. So the interactions, it could be on a micro level within the home. It could be on a slightly bigger level with extended family, cousins. It could be on an even bigger level with family as a community, the community you're living in. And family doesn't necessarily mean just blood relatives. So the influence they have on us, it could determine a lot of choices that we make. It could determine a lot of choices that we do not make. And we hear a lot about how we are influenced up until 7. I personally believe the influence of the family is eternal. It's before we were born, because that family unit was already in the process of being created. It's with us when we're adults. It doesn't stop when we're adults. If anything, sometimes it becomes more difficult when we're adults because we've become so accustomed to certain patterns and certain ways of doing things that it's more difficult to then face some of the things that we do need to change, that we're asking other people to address as well. So depending on the adult, depending on the situation, it could actually be more difficult as we get older to make those changes, to address those things that we need to look at. The way that I work with clients and work to increase the positive energy, the loving energies, the compassion energies, the joyful and happiness energies is, first we need to remember that we are influenced by our families on many, many, many levels. This could be ancestral. This could be family lineage. This could be genetic, DNA, family patterns, cultural, social, religious, if it's not spiritual, or spiritual. It could be which school they decided us to go to. It could be if we went to school. It could be food. It could be celebrations. So all of those influences have an impact. So from there, with my clients, with myself, with my family, we work back to what aspects of our ancestral and all those other influences I just mentioned, what of those aspects are actually helping us now, and we are in 2016 right now, so I'll make it relevant to today. What aspects are important to today? Because what our grandfather, grandmother, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather were doing and thought was correct at that time may not be relevant now. It may be hindering us now. This can actually be tied to things like money blocks. It could be tied to perception of work, perception of our self-worth, perception of self-love. It could be bringing in martyrdom. It could be bringing in things like, I had it on the tip of my tongue and it's gone, sorry. With martyrdom and sacrifice. The element of sacrifice now has to change because the structure of society is changing universally. Globally, there are more people working differently. So if their community of how they're working is changing, it also means that there's more people working away from their family unit. They're outside of their community where they grew up, and they're having to create a new independent community. For example, I'm in London at the moment, so there are a lot of people that come in and out of London, and a lot of us have left behind or left in another country our family units, and having to create another system, another structure of family. So going back to our original ancestral family lineage, that's where it's been really helpful to go into the energies and decipher where it's beneficial and not, and then to make those energetic cuts to the past beliefs, past structures, past energetic ties to what's not working. That's not saying that we do not let go of what we have learned and what can benefit us. It means just now filtering and sifting through all those past accumulation of energies and seeing what is going to make today the most efficient, what is going to make today the most bring the most unity within your family unit now. What is going to make everybody in a win-win situation? And sometimes it feels that win-win is very difficult to get or find, but it's in that willingness to communicate what we require. It's in that willingness to open our hearts. It's in our willingness to say, I'm wrong. It's in our willingness to see some changes need to be made. Some are personal, some are somebody else's. When it's somebody else's, it's learning that we have to have patience. We have to have patience for things to shift. It may be that somebody doesn't want to make those changes. And if they choose not to make those changes, instead of being resentful or angry, it's then upon ourselves to decide, what am I going to do about that? How will I respond to that? And how do I want to move forward from here with love, with compassion, with patience, and also being patient with the self, because as adults, we have been doing things for so long that it takes a while sometimes to break those patterns and have new behaviours come in. So as we're making these changes and these influences are addressed, we can actually, on an energetic level, change beliefs. And I don't call myself a healer, because I believe that is up to the independent person, the independent client who comes to me. I have had instances where clients have come to a certain point and they need time between sessions, or they need time between certain events in their life to make that transition, to make those changes. So it's being patient with the self to realize that some changes are quite intense, some changes are quite large, and some changes do not just affect ourselves, they affect other people too. So having that time to just let those changes be known gently and kindly, and give those other people in the family the time to acclimatize to it, and let them have time to get used to the changes you're making, because some of the changes we make, other people don't understand. Some changes other people are making, we don't understand. But then again, we have to come back to that place of surrendering what we do understand to have been, and being open to what can be, what are the possibilities, what are the potentials, potential of us being more forgiving of each other. Then another one is cultural, which comes in with beliefs, and it's all intertwined, and I'm sure you're aware of that. It's all intertwined. So with the beliefs, what I would like, what I invite people to do is to see where are their actual beliefs coming from their own heart, and where are their beliefs coming from mom, coming from dad, coming from sisters, coming from brothers, coming from siblings, coming from cousins, coming from aunts, uncles, religious communities. Where are those beliefs actually resonating with our own truth? And another aspect of that is, what is your own truth? Because sometimes we've been taking on other people's beliefs, we've been taking on other people's structures, that we don't even know what our own truths are. And that's when we go into the heart, we go into the soul energies of, who am I? What do I need? What do I want? What do I envision my bigger picture to be? What do I envision my future to look like? So there are a lot of things interacting, and we are human, so we're not the most linear form of life, and I wouldn't expect us to be, but we can go into the energies and structure it in a way that take the priority. What is the first thing that needs to be addressed? Then go down from that. And what often happens is, as soon as we start addressing one thing, automatically something else is healed, something else is resolved, something else is aligned with ourselves, something else is evaporating, something else shifts in somebody else. Because when we start looking at our own energy, when we start looking at our own beliefs and behaviors and how we behave, and we start changing those, and we start trying to elevate them and cleanse our energies, automatically other people will start noticing that. Automatically it will benefit the other people around us that we love. And again, it's taking that time, being patient with ourselves for that to be possible, but not giving up on it, just being consistent. And it can get sticky, and it can erupt into, I don't want to say arguments, but it can erupt into suppressed emotions surfacing. There could be anger that hasn't been spoken of for years and years, and it's been held quiet. But then when we give that space to come up, is being aware of how we do it. And when it does come up, not being fearful of saying, look, that had to happen, it had to come up, because if it stays in there, it's going to keep going in that energy cycle. But when we allow things to come up and out, we can truly let go of that. One thing that I used to be told, and I was told recently again by my husband, was I have a treasure box, and in that treasure box I pick up things. I want to change that. because I want my relationship with him to be the best it possibly can be. Same with my child, same with my parents, same with everybody else who's in my life. So I still have work to do. I've done a lot of work, and there has been a lot of recalibration in our relationships, but there's always room for more. There's always room for more love. There's always room for more happiness. There's always room for more compassion. There's always room for more patience. And we can refine as we go along. In doing that, my intention is for myself and for my clients to have healthier, happier, fulfilling, loving relationships. And in years to come, they will feel glad and proud of themselves for having acknowledged those things that were difficult, and able to say that they had the courage to step forward, make those changes, and have a better family life as a result. So I'd like to conclude here, just because there's a lot of things interacting, and I intend to maybe pick a few apart, and so we can look at those more deeply on an individual level. And I invite you to just take a few moments and have a look around you and see your loved ones, and just have a think, what one thing would I like to change? And what one thing is it that's going to take me to take that action, to take that step, to create that change? It could be work, working less, working differently. It could be loving more. It could be being open to love. A lot of us have shut down and scared of being loved, because then that makes us feel vulnerable. It could be that we're scared of giving love, because then that makes us feel vulnerable. Whatever it is, there's 100 million other things that can be changed too. But the first one is leading to the second one, to the third one, which initially may feel difficult, but in a year to come, a few months to come, many years to come, it will be worth it. I promise. Just take that action, take that time. So I'm signing off now, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And it's sunny here, bringing in some deep peace. Thank you.